Hello everybody. I'm afraid I have to share with you the news that my wife has coronavirus, and this is going to have some implications on my activities at the university for the rest of the semester. At the moment she's pretty unwell and I'm taking care of her, but hopefully she'll make a speedy recovery. Inevitably I'm going to get the virus, and so is our son. So I've taken the decision that in the interests of taking care of my family, first and foremost, and protecting you from exposure to the virus, I'm not going to come to campus for the rest of the semester. Now, obviously that's going to have unfortunate impacts on what happens for the rest of the class. And in the rest of this video, I'm going to run through what kind of things I'm going to do to try and ensure that you get the content that you need and you get the contact with me that you need in the run-up to assessment and other things like that. So I'm really sorry about this, because I know that it comes on the backdrop of several weeks of strike action where classes haven't taken place and you've not been able to contact members of staff, and my particular situation now means that that's essentially going to be extended. But I really hope you can understand it's a difficult situation for me to be in, and I'm taking the decision I'm taking in your interests as well as in the interests of my family. I'm hoping that whatever symptoms I experience, it's not really going to stop me from being in contact and being able to deliver things like drop-in sessions. But please watch on in the video and I'll run through all the different elements of delivery and assessment that are yet to come in the class, and I'll hopefully give you clear details on what to expect, and hopefully put your mind at rest that we'll still be able to cover what we need to cover. Thanks. So here I'm going to go through stage by stage the different elements that remain of the class, both in terms of teaching content and assessment. First things first, this week's lecture. It was going to be student choice, and you had voted for a lecture on the criminal underworld and marketing. Now that's not going to go ahead as planned, and more detail about that towards the end of the video. What I'd like you to do instead is focus on the digital marketing content. That is going to be assessed in the exam, so it's important. Obviously, because of the planned lecture being student choice, I wouldn't be able to write into an exam a student choice topic, so that wasn't going to be assessed anyway, but digital marketing is in the exam. Currently, because of the strike action, not all the content is up online, but it's going up. And the thing that you'll see up there at the moment, which is particularly useful, is an interview that I've done with Rachel Garnham, who is a marketing manager for Skyscanner. Now it's an over 1 hour of an interview where we talk about all kinds of things to do with digital marketing. It's really helpful, and it might even be useful to you for your assessment. So definitely head on to the site, to the Digital Marketing Week, and have a listen to the recorded interview with Rachel, and the recorded lecture content will be updated soon. Importantly, coursework submission. Now the intended coursework deadline was coming ahead over the horizon very quickly. You will see that I have decided to extend the deadline only slightly, but just to give you a few extra days. So there is now a new deadline of Tuesday the 24th of March at 5 p.m. So that's week 11, Tuesday of week 11 at 5 p.m. The same arrangements as before. You can submit via Vision on the assessments page of the Vision site. Now that's the actual Vision site, not the class website that I've created. The actual Vision site using Turnitin, and please make sure you follow the instructions that are detailed in the coursework guidelines in naming your files, so that I can see all the students who are involved in group work. Some students have been in touch saying they haven't been able to find a group. Now, in a previous email before the strike action started, I had said if you've been unable to find other people to work with, I will allow you to submit as an individual. Now, obviously this will mean a little bit more work for you. I will take that into account in assessing you if you have done the coursework on your own. But if you've not been able to find a group, please submit the coursework on an individual basis. So the coursework submission deadline has been extended to Tuesday the 24th of March. I had intended on running a drop-in session for everybody on Monday afternoon, but I'm going to run this instead via Google Hangouts, and I'm going to run it on Tuesday afternoon, 2:30 to 4:30. If you haven't used Google Hangouts before, it's really easy. What I will do is I will send a link via the class email distribution list. So you will receive an email just before 2:30, which will have a link on it. If you click on that link, it will take you directly into the Google Hangouts, just a bit like a Skype conversation. You don't have to have your camera turned on. You can simply type in a question in the chat area if you've got questions about the assessment, and I will respond. My advice is that if you've got any questions at all, you join the Google Hangout session and you listen in on everything that I've got to say, because someone else's question might be useful to you and they might also be asking the same question that you wanted to ask, and you'll hear it answered by me. But please join at any time on Tuesday afternoon on the Google Hangout. What we had planned for week 11 originally was a revision lecture that will cover some detail about the exam. I'm going to do instead a live broadcast, quote unquote, during the lecture slot, Monday at 11:15. And that will use Google Hangouts as well, just the same as I used for the drop-in session. So if you attend the drop-in session, you'll have an idea of what the week 11 lecture will be like, but that will just be me broadcasting via Google Hangouts. I don't expect anyone to have their cameras turned on or anything. I just hope that you tune in. Now I will go through the revision of the course. I will give some guidance on the exam content and some advice on exam technique. I'll share the link just as I did for the drop-in session directly before the lecture broadcast at 11:15. And obviously that is timed with the new coursework deadline. And it means that if you attend the Google Hangout week 11 lecture slot, you will have a final opportunity to ask me questions about your coursework submission. Now, this new revised approach to the end of the semester means there are a couple of items of missing content that we had intended to cover. First of all, already touched on, is the student choice topic of marketing in the criminal underworld. Now, my plan is, when I get the opportunity, which it may be a few weeks' time, but I will put together a podcast, probably about a 25-minute long podcast that looks into some of the content that I had planned on delivering a lecture on. Now, that's probably going to cover three areas. So one of them is going to be the dark net, another one's going to be looking at the cocaine industry, and another one's going to look at the kidnapping industry. And shortly touching on those three topics hopefully gives us an interesting look at the way in which marketing ideas operate when it's not actually legal. So I'll put together a podcast for you on that. A reminder that the student choice topic is not going to be assessed in the exam, so there shouldn't be any issues about the timing of when I get that to you, but I don't want to let you down on something that you asked for, so that will be with you. The other topic that we missed is celebrity marketing, and again I will update lecture content as and when I get a chance, the digital content online, so that you can have a look through that material. But again, this gives you a little bit of help. The celebrity marketing topic doesn't come up in the exam this year, so at least you don't have to be concerned about getting access to that content in order to perform well in your assessment. The exam is a difficult one because I expect there will be some decisions made at a university level about how exams are going to be administered this year because of coronavirus. Exams tend to involve hundreds of students in halls together, a lot of people coming together. So I do expect that some specific measures are going to be put in place by the university to mitigate for the impact examination procedure could have on the spread of the virus. But that's not a decision for me to make. So all I can say about the exam at the moment is keep an eye on the university's communications. I don't know what will happen, but rest assured the university will make some form of decision, and I really don't know what that decision will be. Just please keep an eye on your email and communications coming to you from the university. My content on revision will cover things on the assumption that the exam will go ahead. So just a final few points on communication. Please keep an eye on your emails. There are bound to be updates and increasing amount of details coming to you from the university executive about what is happening as a result of the coronavirus situation, and that is likely to have some form of impact on what is happening with your classes, what's happening with your assessments. So please make a point of checking your emails regularly if you don't already. If you have questions for me specific to class or assessment, please make a point of looking at the guidance materials that are already online before you ask that question, because it takes up a lot of my time to answer questions that I've already taken the time to answer through the guidance materials when we're already receiving a lot of emails as a result of coronavirus. And on that point, please be patient with responses. I do read all my emails when I'm at work. I know that I haven't been at work because of the strike action recently, but when I am at work, I read all my emails and I make a point of responding to them. So if you don't hear back from me immediately, please do be patient, because I will do my very best to get back to you in a timely manner. So I hope that gives you a bit of detail about what we're going to do to try and get the class finished and get assessment taken care of, and make sure that you feel you've had exposure to the right content so that you can fulfill any remaining assessment requirements. All that remains for me to say is take care of yourselves. Please keep following the advice that is out there from the government, from public health, and any advice that you're getting directly from the university. Take it seriously. If you've got concerns, get in touch. You can get in touch with me, you can get in touch with your class reps, but this is a rapidly changing and quite scary situation, and I'm experiencing it firsthand at the moment, and all I can say is do take care of yourselves and keep in touch with your families, and if you need any kind of assistance, reach out to try and get some help. So I wish you all the best, and hopefully I get to see you sometime soon. Thanks again.